This time on Second Chance Ohana.
Hey guys, today we have an LA period dresser, a really cute tallboy dresser that's MCM style. It's awesome, except for the fact that we paid $180 for it. We were hoping that we could just grab it, clean it up, resell it, make a profit on it as a quick flip. And then we got our hot little hands on it and realized it's going to require a little more effort than just cleaning. Once again, I'm sensing a theme here. So join us as we see if we can give this baby a second chance and make a profit. Aloha, I'm Dani. In 2016, I moved from Maui to Arizona with my husband so we could be closer to my mom and pops who lived just a few miles away. On our journey, Kyle and I expanded our family by adopting 3 tweens and Bartley, who helps make sure everyone feels like part of the Ohana. Mom and I love to hunt for used furniture and restore it because it's so much fun to be creative, use power tools, and of course, make money. And because like people, sometimes furniture just needs a second chance.
The first step is to remove the hardware. We're calling this piece LAPD, but it has nothing to do with the Los Angeles Police Department. This dresser was manufactured by a company called LA Period. My next step is to clean, and you never know what you're going to find inside of those drawers. Always use a good degreaser for cleaning. Today, I used LA's Totally Awesome Cleaner, which I picked up from the Dollar Tree. The cleaning products don't have to be expensive. The only repair to do on the LAPD was to fix the veneer that was lifting up off of the side. I tried applying heat with an iron, and that ended up melting the paint. Then I tried just using the iron over a microfiber cloth, and that didn't work either. So I resorted to using a large bore needle and a syringe, and I just squirted in some glue underneath that veneer and clamped it down tight. And that ended up working like a charm. Dani and I like to add interesting details to our refinished pieces. On this dresser, we wanted to highlight some of the natural wood trim. I had to be really careful sanding the paint and the original finish off of the trim. And in order to prevent damaging the veneer or flattening out the rounded edges, I started using 120 grit sandpaper and then moved to 180. The whole time I was using very gentle pressure, and I kept the sander moving. You can see I do a lot of sanding, and sanding is super messy. It can get really unhealthy as it throws all those sand particles out into the air. When I first started refinishing furniture, I would get covered head to toe with all that sawdust. Of course, I always used a mask to protect my lungs, but every day my garage was a total mess, and I was a total mess too. Then about a month ago, after doing a lot of research, we spent about $350 and bought a Festool dust extractor. Wow, you guys, what a game changer. It is so amazing, almost no dust. If any of you are interested in getting one for yourself, we have a link down in the description box below. Or if you want to get more information, Rochelle over at Monoline Furniture recently did a whole review about the Festool dust extractor and about a couple of their sanders. We'll include that link below too. Over overall, the painted surfaces on this dresser were in very good shape. So basically, all I had to do was some scuff sanding and smooth out a few areas that were a little rough. And so for this, I just used 180 grit sandpaper to prep it for the new paint. The wood trim around the top of this piece was a different type of wood than the trim around the drawers below. So in order to kind of match them up a little bit, we decided to use a little whitewash. So I just pulled out some acrylic paint because that's what I had on hand, and mixed up a little bit of white with brown and a little bit of yellow, and just whitewashed all the wood trim to kind of make it look a little more consistent.
I have decided that hardware is one of my favorite pieces of refinishing furniture. I feel like it can just completely make or break a piece. So normally, we actually get brand new hardware to put on there, but look at this hardware. This is what came with the piece, and it is so cute. It obviously has seen better days, so we just need to clean it up and add a little gilding wax. So this Barkeeper's Friend is perfect for metal. We just put a little bit on the rag, wipe it off, and then you've got a nice clean starting point. Next year, we're going to use this gold gilding wax from Dixie Belle. And this is so simple, really lightly, just get a touch on your finger and just dab it on. This helps keep the vintage look of what you're doing with your hardware, because if we were to spray paint it gold, it would look brand new. And that's not what we're going for. We want this piece to have character to it. So Pops likes to call this my mad scientist moment. And it is. I feel like a scientist mixing all these paints. Mixing paints is a great way to use up leftover paint you have that isn't enough for a whole project. We knew we wanted a beautiful olive green, but with a little more punch than the original shade grown color that we had. So we mixed a couple of our greens. We even added some blacks and whites. And then we add poly in there as well, just so that all of the coats have a little bit of protection in them as well. Whenever I mix paints, I make sure to use our strainer, especially because on some of these, I'm getting to the bottom of the can and junk just kind of gets in there. So to keep our paint nice and thin and high quality, use a strainer to put all of it through. So when mixing paints, make sure to document exactly how much you're adding. A digital scale would be perfect for this. Unfortunately, I don't have one, so I just measured everything in cups, half cups, fourth cups, and made sure to write it all down so that in case the amount I make right now isn't going to be enough for the whole project, I can make more of the exact same color. And feel free to play with this. Get the exact color you want, just write down every time you add some. Once it's stirred up really well, I made sure to add it on a sample piece of wood just so I knew how it would look on the finished piece, and compared it to the hardware to make sure I loved the look. And actually, my mom and I decided we wanted to tone down the brightness even more, so we did add more black and white, which created a gray, which muted it to be the perfect color we were hoping for. time to add that beautiful paint to this dresser. Our favorite method, if we can't use a sprayer because it's still way too hot in Phoenix, is to put it on thick with a thick chunky brush. We love this 2-inch wedge from Zebra. Then I would go over it with a roller high density brush, nice and thick paint as well, and that just leaves a nice, smooth, even finish for each coat. And don't forget the tops of the drawers, the bottom of the drawers, the edges of the drawers. You want to give everything a nice, clean, finished feel, just like you would buy a brand new piece of furniture from the store. And unfortunately, we couldn't get the legs down to bare wood. They just weren't high quality enough in there, so we taped off the brass bottoms, the gold bottoms, and went ahead and painted right over that blue. And we wanted to keep certain parts of this, that bare whitewashed wood, so always make sure to tape that off. We love the green frog tape. It just leaves such nice clean lines when we pull it off. So tape off anything that you want to keep bare and then paint everything else. And painting is so much fun. If you haven't learned how therapeutic painting can be, you've got to try it out and really just turn on some lovely, simple music and paint away. It's good for the soul. And just like our hardware, these feet needed a little pizzazz too. So we just applied some of this simple gold gilding wax from Dixie Belle and just lightly touched it all around, and we are left with beautiful brand new looking legs. I have one day off a week, and it's quickly becoming my very favorite day of the week because I get to work on these projects side by side with my mom. We're going to talk about life, we talk about the business, and it's just so precious, and I know these days aren't going to last forever, so I'm enjoying every single one of them. And in goes the hardware. Can you just see this all coming together? Isn't it so cute, and it already looks so different than how it first started? Oh yeah, staging time, my favorite part. Although I think I've said that about a few different parts of this process, but it really is. I love having the final product right there, the final transformation, and then sprucing it up with some accessories just is like the icing on the cake. So when I stage, I always grab a handful of different things from our staging area or around our house, things that I know will go well with colors that are about the right size and scale, and really just make it look like it belongs in a home, giving people ideas what would look good, how it would look great in their home, and of course we can't forget our trademark pineapple we try to always include as well. We love the way this dresser turned out. I mean, I'm actually glad it wasn't cute enough to just flip it, because I'm glad we got to work on it and make it adorable. Remember what it looked like before? Oh my gosh, and look at it now. Is this amazing?
I just love the wood and the color on it. It just elevated it so much.
The green, the white washed wood, and I love the hardware too. I'm so glad we kept it and that it was cute to begin with. So let's talk numbers. The whole goal with this project was to make a profit. So I'll remind you, we spent $180 on this piece that had to be refinished, but we're getting over that. And we only spent $10 on products. Literally just a little bit of paint. I mean, you saw how much paint I made, and I never had to use any more. And then a little bit of sandpaper, gilding wax. I mean, really, hardly anything else.
And it didn't take that long. I think we spent maybe total of 10 hours.
Between the two of us, yeah. So if we were to sell it for our dream price right now of $395, we will have made $200. And at 10 hours of work, that's $20 per hour. But I have the feeling someone will probably, offer just a little bit lower, and we'll probably take it.
Okay.
But if we sell it for $360, $370, I'll be really happy with that. Mm-hmm. And I would call that a profit and a success. And it was a lot of fun. And a quick follow-up on a dresser we had done and posted 2 weeks ago. It finally sold, our Funky Town dresser. Woo!
Yeah.
And it sold for $360 to someone who is so excited about it. She paid online before she even saw it in person because she knew she'd love it. And so I think our all-in costs were $130, and we sold it for $360, so a profit of $230 on that dresser. And if you haven't seen that video yet, we've got a link to that video right here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And next week, we have another special guest, my youngest daughter, Sammy, who you've seen a couple times before. We're going to be posting the video of her nightstand, and it's got a fun special twist with this, so you won't want to miss out next Wednesday. All right, guys, aloha. Have a great day.
Shaka.
Hardly anything, because it was a bunch of gallon trim enamel paints that we had. What?
Barkley is licking my leg.